What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out one of the latest robot vacuums from Eufy Clean. The one that we have here today is called the X8 Pro. So this is a robot vacuum that vacuums and also mops. So you can install a mopping module at the bottom of the vacuum and then the vacuum can also mop. This vacuum also has a self-emptying station. You can see the self-emptying station to my right here. So basically whenever the vacuum is done a cleaning cycle, it will go back to its dock, which is the self-emptying station, and it will empty itself out in here. So inside this we have a large 2.5 liter dust bag. So it's gonna take up to 45 days before that dust bag gets full. So you're basically not gonna have to do anything for about 45 days with this vacuum. Another very interesting feature for this vacuum is the twin turbine suction. So you get 2 times 4000 PA suction power. So a lot of suction. You're mostly gonna notice that whenever the vacuum goes over carpets. Now something that I haven't seen with any other vacuum before is also the auto detangling of the roller brush. So you typically see a lot of hair stuck on that roller brush with many vacuums, many robot vacuums. If you have a robot vacuum at home, if you look at this roller brush at the bottom here, there is usually a lot of hair stuck on that. So that's not the case with this one. So the way the brush is designed, and it also has an auto detangling function, so there is almost no hair stuck on this brush ever, which is quite unusual for a robot vacuum. My other robot vacuum that I use, I have to clean that brush every single time the vacuum goes and does the cleaning. Well, that's not the case with this one. The roller brush here stays clean for a long time. The vacuum also has what the manufacturer calls iPath laser navigation. So basically this vacuum will map out your entire house. It knows exactly where it's been, it knows exactly where it has to go, it's not gonna get lost. And of course it can also go back to the docking station whenever it's done a cleaning cycle or whenever it has to charge the battery. So it has that feature as well. If it does run out of power whenever it's vacuuming, it will go back here, it will recharge, and then it will continue where it left off. So with a vacuum like this, the vacuum will never get lost, will always do the room that you want it to do. So it is a very smart vacuum in that sense. The vacuum also has obstacle avoidance. So basically if there is something in front of the vacuum will just go around that object. So if you forget some socks, if you forget some shoes somewhere on the ground, there is no problem. The vacuum will just go around that. So that's a very helpful feature, mostly if you start the vacuum from your phone when you're not at home and you're not totally sure if the floor is totally clean from toys, objects, or whatever. So basically the vacuum will avoid anything that you leave on the floor. Taking a quick look at the vacuum itself, so we have the same round shape that we've been seeing with other robot vacuums in the past. At the top here we have the navigation system. We also have some more sensors on the front. Talking about sensors, we also have a variety of sensors at the bottom here. So even if you're using the vacuum on some stairs, for example, on the second floor, basically the vacuum is not gonna fall down the stairs. These sensors will keep the vacuum from falling down. So just in case you're wondering. At the top here, we have a little plastic door. If you open this, you can take out the dustbin. Now, the dustbin you're not gonna have to clean yourself because everything from the dustbin will basically go into the dust bag that we have inside the self-emptying station. And here we also have the filter. You can easily take this out, clean it, replace it, or whatever you may wanna do with it. And of course you put this back very easily. On the back of the vacuum, we also have the charging contacts. You can actually see the charging contacts on the self-emptying station here as well. So as I mentioned earlier, the vacuum knows how to go back to its emptying station. It will empty itself out. It will also auto detangle the roller brush by itself. So it knows how to do all that. So whenever it's done a cleaning cycle, it will go back here. Or if it runs out of power whenever it's doing a cleaning cycle, it will come back here, it will recharge, and then will continue on wherever it left off. So it knows how to do that. So on the back here, we also have the container for water. So you can fill up this with water, then you put this back, and then we have the mopping module that gets attached to the bottom of the vacuum here. The cloth on the mopping module can be removed quite easy, so you basically pull on it. So you can remove this, then you can wash it or you can throw it in the washing machine. And this basically gets attached to the bottom of the vacuum, so kind of like this, and this is how the vacuum looks with the mopping module installed. You can also select how wet the floor should be. So from the Eufy Clean app, you can basically select the level of wetness for this cloth here, and of course you can also select the level of suction for the robot vacuum. So it really depends where the vacuum is vacuuming. Maybe you are home, you don't want as much noise, so you can lower the suction power on the vacuum, or if you're not home, you can have it at full blast. Moving on to the bottom of the vacuum, so of course here we have the driving wheels. The vacuum has no problem going over carpets, at least all the carpets in my house, it goes over them without any problems. Here we have that self-detangling rolling brush. So of course you can also remove this, you can clean it, you can replace it when the time comes, and so on. And then we have another brush here that basically pushes the dirt towards the main suction hole, which is right here in the center. Moving on to the Eufy Clean app. So as you'd expect, the app is packed with features. So after you pair the phone to the app, it's very simple to do. It takes about 2 minutes to pair the vacuum to your phone and of course the app. So basically the vacuum will be connected to your home's Wi-Fi network, and you can control the vacuum from pretty much anywhere from your phone through the Eufy Clean app. The app also allows you to create multiple maps. So let's say that you live in a 2-story house. You can have a map for the first floor and another map for the second floor. So this way you can use the same vacuum for the entire house, basically. Of course, you're gonna have to take the vacuum to the second floor. It's not gonna be able to go up the stairs itself, but then you'd select the second map and then the vacuum can clean upstairs as well. You can select do not go zones. So there is a place where you don't want the vacuum to go, you can basically select that on the map. If you just want the vacuum to go and clean a certain spot in your house, you can select a zone in the app there, and then the vacuum will go clean that and then go back to the emptying station. So of course you can send it to different rooms, or the vacuum can do all the rooms together, and you can also set schedules. So anything you can imagine, you can basically change from the Eufy Clean app. As for the vacuuming performance, well, with that much suction power as you'd expect, it does pick up everything from the floor. It doesn't matter if it's going over a hard floor or carpets, it will pick up everything from the floor, no problem. Now, I haven't got to experience this vacuum with pet hair. I did get to experience it with human hair. Personally, I think that the human hair is actually worse because it's so much longer. Pet hair is not as long. So the auto detangling brush here does do a really good job with human hair, the only hair that I actually got to try. So I'm assuming it will do even better with pet hair that's shorter. So this feature should be standard on all robot vacuums, in my opinion. Now, since the vacuum is kind of low as well, so it's not a high vacuum by any means, it can also go under my couch, it can go under furniture without any problems, and the vacuum hasn't got stuck once in the period that I've used it. So I believe I used this vacuum for about 2 weeks, and I had it vacuuming daily once or twice. For mopping, I only had it mopping every 4 or 5 days, so not as often. But for vacuuming, I did try it multiple times, and no issues whatsoever for all the times that I've used it. I don't think I mentioned this before, so in the box you're also gonna find this plastic mat. So basically you'd use this if you plan on having the vacuum mop, because then when the vacuum goes back to the docking station, you don't want that wet mop to sit on your hardwood floor, just to give you an example. Now, if you have tiles like me, you don't necessarily need this, but you can definitely use it if you want to. Personally, I'm happy with or without it. So keep that in mind. If you do have hardwood floors, definitely install this if you have the vacuum mopping, so you don't have that wet mop sitting on your floor. Like this is gonna sit on the plastic sheet. So there you have it. This was a super quick look at the Eufy Clean X8 Pro robot vacuum and mop. If you're looking for a robot vacuum that has a lot of suction power, well, this is definitely one that has a lot of suction power. And if you don't want to deal with all that crazy hair that gets stuck on that rolling brush, like on most vacuums, well, this one will make it much easier for you because you don't have to detangle that hair manually. Not to mention it will self-empty itself out for up to 45 days on one dust bag. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.